First, look here. You have seen in the previous section that the study of cell has created a new branch in the biological science, and that branch is known as cell biology or the cytology. Here also, here I have written here histology. What is the meaning of histology? The branch of biology that dealt with the study of structure and function of tissue is known as histology. Like that of the cell biology or cytology, when we dealt with the study of cell, that is the cytology, and when we will study about the tissues in respect to their structure, function, and more precisely, if we will here written that dealt with the study of microscopic structure, then it is more better, microscopic structure. So, this microscopic structure and functions of the tissue is known as histology, a new branch of biology. This is the fact about the histology. Here in the margins, I have also written the two important things. Here you may see Marcello Malpighi. It is the name of an Italian histologist. He was the founder of the microscopic anatomy. Anatomy means the structure, that is the internal structure of the internal structure, of the organisms body part or parts is the anatomy. How the structure will form? All the structure based on cell, and when the number of cells will be increased, the number of cells will be more than one, and the organism are the multicellular, then there is a different structure will form in the body, and the distribution of the tissue, the structure of the tissue, and the organization of the cells into the tissue is the anatomy. That is the internal structure of the organism's body part or parts is the anatomy. Marcello Malpighi was the first scientist of the Italian who considered as the founder of microscopic anatomy and histologist. So, this is the two different facts. The branch of tissue, the study of the branch of tissue, the study of the branch of biology that deal with the tissue is known as histology, and the first histologist was Marcello Malpighi. One more thing here, may I also would like to share with you, like the Marcello Malpighi was the first histologist, and there are different anatomical structure of the body named after his name. Like here some examples, skin layer on the body, skin layer, that is also named after his name, Malpighi layer. The second example here from the kidney, the structural and functional unit of kidney is nephron, and one of the important part of the nephron is the Malpighian corpuscles. It was also named after Marcello Malpighi. And in the third example, there are excretory organs are present in the insect like cockroach, grasshopper, and that excretory organ is also after the name of Malpighi, that is known as the Malpighian tubules. Excretory organs in insects. So these are some facts about the first histologist, that was Marcello Malpighi. Now I would like to introduce you about the tissue. You have all familiar with this fact that all the organisms are made up of cell. Basically, these cells has ability for the performance of different processes which are related with the life. As you have seen, in case of the unicellular organisms like amoeba, bacteria, paramecium, yeast, and there are a lot of examples. All these unicellular organisms perform all their activities like a process of respiration, process of nutrition, intake of food materials, process of excretion like the removal of the waste materials, process of transportation to transport the essential materials from one place to another. All these vital functions carried out by that single cell in these single unicellular organisms. But in case of the multicellular organism, what will happen? When there is a lot of cells, like when you will see here Hydra, I just here written the very primitive multicellular, the simple multicellular organisms. Here maybe thousands of cells are present in case of this Hydra. In the another example like man, where millions or billions of cells are present. Like banyan tree, it is also similar, like billions of cells are present, millions of cells are present. So here in these all cases, as the number of cells is more than 1, then why those cells will carry the function alone? Why should not they do the function unitedly? And for that, when they will do the functions after uniting, when the different cells having the same origin, shape, structure, and for targeting to perform a specific function, when make a group and cluster of the cells, that makes a tissue. And if the number of cells are more than 1, then there is a organization of tissue in the body. Why? As all the cells now distribute, there is a division of labor in the body. There are some group of cells, they will do some specific function, like they will carry the functions of transportation. Like a group of cells grouped together and they perform a specific function, like the process of digestion, process of nutrition. Similarly, a group of cells performs together and a specific job and a specific assignment and a specific function, like the movement. There are so many functions that is related with. Then what happened in the multicellular organisms? There is a division of labor. This is the division of labor, when the work distributed equally to the all groups of cells, and they will together perform different specific functions. That is the division of labor. So here, in the case of different types of tissues, you will see that it is reduce the workload on an individual cell, and there is an efficiency in work, as because they now united and perform specific functions with the cooperation with each other. So that is why there is a organization of tissue. Here in the next part, we have some examples of tissue and some examples of organ and system. With the help of those examples, we will try to understand that there are more and more aspects and the importance of tissues. Here, there are few examples from the animal tissue. In the body of the animal, there is a movement and locomotion. How this movement and locomotion takes place? Due to the contraction and expansion of a particular type of tissue, that is the muscular tissue. Muscular tissue. So here in this group of tissue, in this group of cell which made the muscular tissue, which organized to form the muscular tissue, are comprising such type of cells having the common origin. All the cells which made this type of tissue having the common origin, having the common origin, shape and structure, and all these cells which have been grouped and form a tissue together perform a specific function and a specific job, that is the movement and locomotion. So this is one fact you have seen from this example. We take another example from the, again, like the blood. It is a liquid connective tissue. It is a liquid connective tissue. That means it is the example of blood is the example of a type of animal tissue which is known as connective tissue. What is the function of blood? All the cells which compose the blood, which compose such type of tissue, perform a particular function, that is the transportation. The different types of nutrients, the gases like carbon dioxide, oxygen, like hormones, like metabolic waste materials, all are these to be transported with the help of this particular tissue, that is the connective tissue. So, this is the second example. Similarly, the third example, again from the animal tissue, like we are talking about the nervous tissue. In this tissue, there are presence of neuron, that is the cell that compose this special type of tissue, that is the nervous tissue. What is the function of this tissue? The function of this tissue to percept the information or for the perception of the stimuli and responses according to them, according to the different types of stimuli, according to the different types of messages that will be received by the body, and depending upon that different types of stimuli or the different types of messages that have already conveyed to the body, now how the body will respond, that performance will perform by the nervous tissue. And also in this tissue there is a brain and a spinal cord. In the brain and the spinal cord, the nervous system formed with the help of this tissue that will carry out the functions of the coordination in the body and also the transmission of information, and according to the nature of the information, nature of the stimuli, the body will respond. These are some facts from the animal tissue. Similarly, a cluster of cells formed a tissue in the plant also. Some example may be from the plant, like xylem. There are presence of 4 different types of cells in this xylem. 4 different group of cells formed and made this xylem tissue. This is also known as wood. So, this tissue performs the functions of the process of transportation. What type of transportation? There is a 2 category of transportation in the plant body. In the first category of the transportation, water and minerals are to be transported. Water and minerals are to be transported from root to the leaf for the manufacturing of food, that is for the process of photosynthesis. So, this is the first purpose of transportation in plant, and that will carried out by the presence of xylem tissue. Similarly, there are presence of similarly there are presence of phloem tissues. The second example, phloem tissue, phloem tissues. In the second part of the transportation process, when there is a process of photosynthesis, there is a synthesis of food particles within the leaf. Now that food particles will be transported to each and every part of the body, each and every part of the cell for the utilization in the form of energy and for the storage purpose. So that functions will carried out by in the plant body with the help of these phloem tissues. So here you have seen several examples that will confirm us that in the multicellular organisms, if there is a group of cells having the similar, may I write here the definition, then you may clearly understand, and we shall discuss more and more upon that fact. What is the definition of tissue? The tissue may be defined as a group of cells having common origin, structure and shape, they together achieve a common function. So this is the definition of tissue. In this definition, it is very clear that how the tissue form, when there is a same origin, shape and structure, such type of group of cells together make a tissue. And now after the cluster of cells, now according to the division of labor, now the work is already distributed and it is given to those type of tissues that they will now do the different functions of the body, and that is why they will achieve a common function. So this is the definition of tissue. Now in the introductory class, what are the points we have written on the board? You have seen that today we should also know about the importance. From this all fact, you may get an idea about the importance of tissue. We will discuss those things now, but before that, we may see here that now depending upon the cells, it differentiation and after differentiation they form tissues. The tissue differentiation again, and form organs, and organs together, that is the organ system. So, this is the cells together in a cluster with the having the common origin, shape, structure, having the common functions will form the tissue, and tissue having certain common features, origin and function together form an organ, and similarly one, two or more organ form an organ system in the body. All this fact clearly tells us that due to this differentiation in the organization, on the organization level, ensure the efficiency of the different life processes, different physiological activities and the other activities of the body. Now look here, the importance of tissue. But before that, once again I would like to explain this one. When there are cells, each and every cell has ability to perform function, but in the multicellular organism that has formed tissue that make more and more efficiency in performing the several activities related with the life and related with the protoplasm or related with the cellular activities. And similarly, if in the tissue, and when tissue will differentiate, they will form organ, and when two or more than two organs that form that organ system. Now there are some examples, like we are talking about the circulatory system. Circulatory system. In the circulatory system, if we look about the components of the circulatory system of man, then what we will see? We will see there are components like the blood, there are components like the vessels, there are components like the pumping structure, heart. So heart is the main organ in the circulatory system, but all the other related organs that will ensure the functions of the heart together make an organ system in the body.